Hello everybody, I'm JD Lopez, the host of Left Hand Right Brain. It's a free-flowing, wide-ranging conversation that I have with artists doing interesting and creative things here in Denver and beyond. We talk about their personal stories, break down their creative process, and what motivates them. Spoiler alert, it's mostly spite. We talk about all these things and more while kicking back, cracking wise, and always having a good time. You can find old episodes and everything you need to know at lefthandrightbrainpod.com.
Attention, listener. I have an assignment for you. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to engage with the Real Nerds, aka the best podcast on the internet. You can listen to their episodes on their website, realnerdspodcast.com. And you can also listen to them on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and iTunes. Follow their social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This message will self-destruct never.
Hi, this is Ed Kramer, CGI artist from Industrial Light and Magic. I worked on the scarabs from The Mummy, the rock monster from Galaxy Quest, and you are listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to the Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Pop Culture Con 2020 and beyond. I am Brad.
And I am the Invisible Man!
Pretty sure I can see you.
Go!
And you're listening to another terrible episode of Real Nerds Podcast because it's just me and Zach.
No, but you see...
Or Zach and I.
Brad and Zach podcast can rule the world!
No,
it can't?
nope.
Motherfucker.
We are the lowest common denominator of podcasts.
And yet somehow I have a spin-off show. How the fuck did that happen?
I mean...
I kind of just decided to, so...
Yeah, I mean, you were sick of this show that you had to do your own thing.
I'm tired of hearing about superheroes.
That's how bad the show is. Its own hosts can't stand doing it.
I'm just like, I can't. If I hear about how awesome Robert Downey Jr. is one more time...
Why can't we only talk about things in black and white? There's too much color in here.
And it's like, look,
I don't know why Zach hates color so much.
Whoa. Ouch.
Movies of color.
Oh, gosh. Hashtag Technicolor never. No, I do love Technicolor and VistaVision and CinemaScope and 3D and all those things. They're wonderful. But Brad, we don't talk about the things I hate. We talk about the things we love.
Well, that depends. This week we saw The Invisible Man. So we'll be giving our initial thoughts, and then we'll play the trailer, and then we'll go into depth and spoil it.
Yes, we will try to see if we can see our way towards a good review of this movie.
Oh my god, I want to leave this episode myself.
No, you don't. Come back here.
Invisibility puns. I'm out.
Brad, come back here. Come back. Brad is gone. He has disappeared. He is invisible to me.
Or am I?
Oh, he reappeared. It was awesome.
He's going to knock stuff off the table in front of you.
Well, how did that happen? It must be a ghost. No, but we will discuss the movie. It'll be interesting talks, too. But we also talk about other things on this show.
Yeah.
More visible things.
Yeah, we go around town with me. We talk about Blu-ray 4K releases. We talk about stuff we've been watching. Corinne has a Catching the Classics for us this week.
Awesome possum. Cannot wait to hear that one.
And movie news.
Yeah, cool.
Or industry news.
Industry news. You know, stuff that happens in Hollyweird.
And it better be good, I swear to God.
There's actually, well, a lot of shit happened this week.
Oh, God.
But not like, I mean, it's stuff that can be condensed. It's just like, it was pretty active. Like, we had more than one discussion on the text thread today, or this week, so I think we'll have plenty to discuss. But Brad, before we discuss any of the industry jargon, I want to know what's going around here. What's going on in Denver? In other words, what's going on around town?
Hey, film buddies, follow me around Denver. This week, the Midnight at the Esquire is The Fifth Element.
Okay.
Not sure I'll go to that one, but
I'm good.
That March 6th and 7th. Yeah. That's the midnight for this week.
It makes it easier to forget, like I do every week.
But the following week, I've never seen the original Suspiria, so I'm gonna go check that one out.
Hell yeah, let's do it, man. Let's see another classic horror movie you'll hate.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
It's too slow. Nothing happens.
really.
Nah, I mean, that was the original.
Is this a good one for me to fall asleep in?
No. Well, I think you'll enjoy it because it's got a lot of a
I didn't enjoy Deep Red, so
Okay, maybe you. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Did you see the remake at all?
no.
Okay, it might be a good comparison to watch this one first and then watch the remake. They run into similar territories, but Guadagnino's version is decidedly a different approach. So, but anyway, yeah, I know they're doing some other cool stuff in the coming weeks, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see which ones I'll go to. I want them to start showing some more black and white movies again, though. Like, not to lay into my stereotype, but
Well, you can do the film for all seasons.
that is true, and they do a lot of Hitchcock stuff there too every year. So I'll be curious to see what they do with it this year with their Hitch with a Twist.
I know they got Being There, but that's in color.
They're doing Doctor Strangelove, which I would love to see on a big screen, and it's actually pretty relevant movie today. So, and then they're also showing Steamboat Junior with Buster Keaton. So that'll be a fun one to watch, and it's a quick movie. So
But I didn't look those up, so I don't have any information for you.
that's okay. We'll find out more as the days roll on.
I mean, if you're industrious, if you're an industrious listener, you can just go to the landmarktheaters.com website,
Yeah,
look
or-
up the Denver film market, and it'll tell you yourself.
Yeah, you go. Also, I found out their ticketing app is Atom, and they actually listed out pretty well, and they showed the advance pre-sale stuff in a pretty easy to locate fashion. Because Landmark doesn't have its own app for whatever reason.
It does. I just looked at it.
They have their own app.
Yeah.
Weird. Do they sell tickets through it?
Yeah.
Weird. So then why do they keep directing me to Atom? That's fucking weird.
I don't know.
Oh wait. All right. I mean, I'm an idiot, so
Yeah.
you know. No.
Do better research, idiot.
Okay. Sorry. I will.
If you really cared about Landmark Theaters, you would know to just get their own app.
You know what?
Like me.
When they redo their seats in the Greenwood Village, we'll talk.
Why would they redo the seats in the Greenwood Village?
Because some of them are stripping of the fake leather and just nasty.
God, that theater's only like a decade old.
Yeah.
I
mean,
guess that makes sense.
feels like they should retouch that up at some point, though. It is in a high-end district, so.
Yeah.
But whatever. Still nice inside. I mean, I'll go see a movie there. Free popcorn. I mean, I don't like the popcorn there, but it's fine. You know, if it's free.
I mean, it's included in your ticket. I'm
Yeah.
not going to complain.
Yeah, exactly.
And even the ticket's maybe $2 or $3 more, that's still a ton of savings for popcorn.
Yeah. Sometimes I do go for that VIP seat, too, because it is kind of comfy, even though it doesn't recline. That's the only disadvantage is they don't have a recline, but Alamo doesn't either, so.
You know what I'll pay a lot for is like a isolation chamber version of seats, so I don't have to hear people.
It's basically your room is what you want.
I will pay to watch theatrical run movies in my room, yes.
Yes, exactly. So just bring that kind of the Christie 4K projector into Brad's house.
Regal needs to walk, a leather seat, Atmos surround sound system, and a 200-inch screen into my room.
Yeah, Regal, make it happen. He's paying you monthly. You owe him that much.
Yeah.
Heck, they owe me an IMAX theater at this point, but I haven't seen a dime. So, anyway, cool.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's all that's going on around town. What else?
I mean, there's EF Palooza coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, March 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Yeah.
There's that. I'm going to announce the Fail Film Festival this week, so that's pretty cool.
Ooh, nice.
But maybe I'll just save that for another episode.
Okay. Beautiful.
But look out for that.
Okay. Sweet.
For all you first-time failures at film.
Do you want to just do a retrospective on me, get it over with?
Yeah. We'll dedicate a whole block to your filmography.
And then I come out and do one of those Q&As. I'll just come out like dressed like Orson Welles in his later years, super fat.
Grandma's frozen peas.
They wouldn't give me the money. You know I did radio.
Yeah, and then what was I totally distracted me what I was going to say.
Well, you did unveil a design for our glass that's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
up at Denver Pop Culture Con. You had to do a redesign, unfortunately.
Yeah, printing is not as advanced as I thought it would be
Yeah.
for glasses in 2020, so
Yeah.
I had to compromise, and it's about half of an ooze canister design, but
But
if you pretend it's broken in half, then
it is an ooze canister design. It's
Yeah.
pretty fucking sweet.
it does have a gash in the side, which is pretty cool. So, but I mean, when you fill it to the top, it's not gonna.
It should have an actual opening in the side of the glass so that it just spills out like, oops,
People just cut themselves on it.
oops, I'm a turtle now.
see.
Also, I'm bleeding.
So hopefully, yeah. Well, those will be coming soon. I hope. I'm really excited. And then we're working on some panels for Denver Comic Con,
We've got
Pop Culture Con,
there's
Pop Culture Con.
Yeah, there's a fun idea that was bandied about after the recording last week,
Yeah,
which I think would be a lot of fun.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it would. I'm sure it would give you an immense amount of joy.
It's a big fun year for people like me who love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first movie.
Yeah, and
And so we'll be exploiting the hell out of that.
my absentee father, Kevin Eastman, will be coming down to sign stuff and ignoring my calls for father-son time once again. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've disappointed him by being you, so.
yeah, that is true. I
I don't
wonder if
blame him.
Peter Laird would take me as his son.
I mean, he doesn't travel, so you'd have to go to him.
That is true. I'd have to go out to him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, you're a bad son, so.
Yeah, maybe
Kevin
I'll
was
be,
right to disown you.
maybe I can meet Michael Bay's son, and then Kevin Eastman can hate us both together.
Yeah, but then, like, you're constantly moving.
Yeah, constantly moving, constantly dodging explosions. That's gonna be rough on
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting in shape now, but I'm not crazy enough to run away from explosions at this point.
And, like, do you really want to see yourself in a low angle all the time?
No, and I certainly don't want my new adoptive dad looking up my skirt. But
Yeah. And you're going to just crick your neck, like, looking at helicopters flying over you all the time.
yeah, and he'll tell me be more like Shia, and I'll just go no.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you've never been a Transformers collector, so.
no, I haven't. If anything, I've been actively disinterested in owning anything related to them. So, but hey, he made Pain and Gain. Fun movie. Dark, but fun. Anyway, what should we move on to next, Brad?
Let's talk about Blu-ray 4K releases.
Ooh, okay. Changing it up.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
So, Brad, you need to clarify for me something. So we've got a lot of re-releases from Disney coming out for 4K releases for I don't know if this is the first time or not, but we're getting WALL-E, Up, Monsters, Inc., A Bug's Life, and Monsters University. So are these the first times for 4K for them?
Yep.
Okay. So you can get those in the regular packaging, which are just the character designs and whatever. And then you have some cool steelbooks, and I love this WALL-E one. I think it's adorable.
Yep.
The Bug's Life one, that's okay. It's not my favorite of their movies. The Up one is awesome, and I want it, even though I have Up. And the Monsters, Inc. one is adorable, too. So, yeah.
There's probably Monsters University one in there, too, right?
Yes, and that one's Mike and Sully in their bunk bed, and then the campus flag in the back. So, yeah. Looks like a lot of fun. Amongst other things that are coming out, Titans, the complete second season. Brad, you never finished that shit, did you?
I did not finish the first season.
Okay, so if you want to...
I'm not opposed to it. I just didn't. It wasn't interesting enough for me to like take advantage of while I had that free subscription. So
Exactly. But hey, fuck Batman. I still love that. That was just so impactful to people. It blew their minds. A movie you saw that I want to see, Dark Waters, is coming to Blu-ray. I'm very excited to see. I'm so pissed that I missed it at the theater. I should have gone out to it.
good thing there's home video.
Yeah, and a big release this week will be Queen and Slim coming out to 4K and Blu-ray with Daniel Kaluuya. And let's see, Kino Lorber Studio Classics is putting out the Sergio Leone Western Collection. So on Blu-ray, you can get their versions of A Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in the West, and Duck You Sucker, a.k.a. A Fistful of Dynamite. 5 wonderful films. I highly recommend you check them out. If you are wondering what Quentin Tarantino gets inspired by, it's Sergio Leone, amongst other things. But Sergio Leone definitely an influence.
On Kino Lorber.
Yes.
Lorber.
Lorber. Yes.
Kino Lorber.
Lorber. This is have one of those like things you insert in the edit. Lorber.
I'm gonna like draw some like Universal or like Toyo monster called Lobor.
He eats new films to poop out the classics.
Run from the sight of Lobor.
Lobor. Lorbor. And by the way, the it doesn't say in here, but I would imagine that the versions of A Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, and The Good, Bad, and the Ugly are indeed the restorations that they originally did for individual releases on those. So you will probably be getting those restorations, as well as, I'm assuming, some stuff for how the Once Upon a Time in the West and Fistful of Dynamite. But yeah, and actually, Alamo Littleton is showing A Fistful of Dollars at some point this month, and that's something I'm definitely gonna try to check out. I still haven't seen Clint's newest film, but I'll gladly go back to this old one. So, and let's see here.
Better be cool.
Kino Lorber is also putting out an Alec Guinness movie. It's a double feature called The Captain's Paradise and also Barnacle Bill. Alec Guinness movies I had no idea existed. So I'm assuming this is before George Lucas asked him to be a crazy space wizard in the desert. So yeah, go ahead and peep those out. Arrow Academy is putting out Kansas City, a film from 1996, directed by Robert Altman. I have never seen it before. I'm a casual Altman guy. Do you like Altman at all, or?
I've seen Shortcuts.
Shortcuts, and that's it.
I think so.
Haven't seen MASH at all? Might like.
Oh,
MASH.
and Popeye.
Oh, Popeye. Yeah, I guess you have seen Popeye. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen MASH.
Yeah. I mean, I always recommend A Prairie Home Companion. His last movie.
I've seen Gosford Park.
Gosford Park. Okay, cool. Right on. But yeah, I don't think you've seen Nashville, obviously. But,
Yeah.
You know, heck, you might check that out. I don't know. There's a 2019 movie from IFC called Radio Flash coming out. I've never heard of this. Look familiar at all for you, based on the cover?
No.
Well, if you are interested in a blind buy, check out Radio Flash. And that is pretty much it. Just a lot of anime and a lot of random stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, that's Blu-rays.
All right, let's take this shit show of an episode over to news.
It's real news.
So do we want to start with the big news, or some random news?
Pick like 3 important things.
All right. Why don't we start with the one that you
I don't give a shit about trailers.
No. Well, we are going to talk about a trailer because I like it. But we'll start with the I guess the biggest news directly within our nerd sphere, which is Steven Spielberg's no longer directing Indiana Jones 5.
That is a big one.
Yeah. James Mangold is in discussions to take over. James Mangold, obviously director of Logan and Ford v Ferrari, and. Yeah, Spielberg is going to remain as a hands-on producer, and his decision to leave was labeled as such to pass on the torch of Indy to a new generation, even though Harrison Ford will be in this one, and he's still going to be producing. So,
yeah,
I'm wondering.
Really strange turn of events.
And keep in mind, they've been working on this for a couple of years now to get this up and running.
Yeah, no offense to Harrison Ford, but I mean, you watch the making of the other 4 movies, really the other 3, because George Lucas didn't have a lot of input into Crystal Skull.
Or Deadeye.
But they made sequels of that because those 3 guys liked working together.
Yeah.
And so now that it's just Harrison Ford, it's kind of baffling like why he would want to return to it without either of those 2.
Well, I mean, Spielberg is producing. George Lucas is doing his thing. I mean,
Yeah.
He's sitting back going like, they all wanted me gone, and now they realize they want me back. So,
but it's like part of doing this is sort of like a redemption tour for Crystal Skull, even though it's a fine movie. But
yeah, it's fine. I mean, that movie, we gave it a lot of shit when it came out, but if you watch it in hindsight, it's perfectly fine.
But just escaping that stigma, without Spielberg directing it just kind of feels like this is like they might as well just reboot entirely.
Yeah, I'm in that camp too, and especially if Spielberg's not allowed to have or isn't going to have the final word on what Indiana Jones is as a legacy before they try to reboot it, or carry it on in a Bond-esque fashion or something. I would love to still have his voice in there.
Yeah.
Like, as much shit as Crystal Skull gets, I still like what he has to say in the movie. It's just...
And also, what does that say about like the idea they have for the fifth one? Like,
yeah,
if Spielberg's not like so compelled to do it, it can't be that interesting.
well, so we have to keep in mind a little bit is that in Crystal Skull they kind of already do Old Man Indy, but I know I talked to you about it. Is if they're getting Mangold, they might pull a Logan on it, where maybe they kind of give him a bitter, resentful send off.
I mean, that makes sense, but also he was already old in Crystal Skull, and now he's
exactly
more than 10 years older.
So it's just like, what else are we going to say about that?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's highly unlikely you're getting Shia LaBeouf back to play Mutt. So
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants that. But also, like I think part of the like obnoxious green screen work in Crystal Skull is because you can't have Harrison Ford running around doing action stuff.
yeah,
So that's like to supplement him, and
maybe it'll be a quiet human
I
drama.
mean, we all just want to see him in a non CGI world. So
yeah,
I feel like you should just start over and distance yourself as like just a new Disney branded Indiana Jones.
exactly. Speaking of Disney and its brand, Bob Iger has stepped down as CEO.
That was surprising too.
Yeah, although he had said he was going to be stepping down within the realm of 2021, but this is an early departure. Bob Chapek will be assuming the mantle, and Iger is staying on for the next year or so to basically supervise the transition. So everybody answers to Chapek, and Chapek answers to Iger in the interim.
Which I think I'm actually impressed, because I wish more obscenely wealthy people would step aside. You know,
in favor of more obscenely wealthy people.
like you ushered Marvel and Star Wars and tons of great Pixar stuff into existence,
And
like
killed the history of a 100-year studio, but whatever.
yeah, and completely destroyed a rival studio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a thing you did.
I like, yeah. What else do you really feel like you need to do?
I guess it is time for him to just, pack it up and move on. Chapek had been running a lot of stuff for the Disney parks at this point, so now he'll be stepping into the game. It's interesting because Iger's been with the company for 15 years and really helped take them out of the slump they were in where the Pirates movies are starting to kick in, but they're not going to be the sustainable area. And then, Iger kind of spearheads a lot of stuff that, like the Marvel acquisition and the Star Wars acquisition. So clearly, this is a guy who changed the industry immensely. So it's a wonder what Chapek's going to be able to do to top that at all. I mean, I frankly could care less because it's a big company just changing its boss. So
Yeah, but also like, okay, so his legacy is really he just bought already successful things that other people did.
and well,
that's his idea.
I think part of it is also he managed to create a factory out of Marvel in a way that we don't know if it would have happened the same way and under the same circumstances.
Well, he put someone in charge that
yeah, you mean Chinos?
did that, huh?
You mean Chinos? Kevin Feige? That's his character on the Simpsons episode. He's going to do. It's called
I didn't know
Chinos.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, he did that. And I mean, like, the Star Wars acquisition is something that no one ever expected to happen. If in the world of business, it's a big deal. In the world of movies, it's kind of like, okay, a company bought another company. Neat way. I think the biggest choice that he made, hands down, that does impact us is the acquisition of Fox. I think that the one that happened within the last 5 years is the one that is going to have the most interesting impact on the industry because of just, we didn't do an episode on Call of the Wild, but that's the first movie to come out with the 20th Century logo. I mean, what's the point of why just change the company name entirely at that point?
Yeah, it's
just feels weird.
A Disney movie, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so we'll see how the business world of Disney carries on for the next couple of years, and who knows? Maybe it'll tank and Warner Brothers will rise again. Let's see. Creed 3 is going to get put into production. They got a new writer coming on board, Zach Balin, who wrote the script for King Richard. I'm excited for a Creed 3, provided that a certain individual decides to just step aside or go the way of Mickey. But
Yeah, I would be more interested in that franchise if Rocky wasn't as like I that was my main draw for the first two, but I feel like by your third film you need to like walk on your own feet.
yeah, exactly. But I gotta keep doing things in there. I mean, Rocky's story's not over. What happens when he has to go to the home? I mean, he has to start boxing fights in the home.
Rocky has to fight his way to the cafeteria. stay upright on his walker.
Oh my God, that could be where he runs into Mr. T's character again. What was his name? Clubber Lang, right?
Clubber Lang. Yeah.
Yeah, Clubber Lang in the home. Oh my God, can you imagine the kind of fight they'd have? I pity the fool who tries to take my pills. There's another little bit of Disney news. The Simpsons have a short film that's going to be playing in front of Pixar's Onward, and it's another Maggie short. They've done this before, but this is the first one that's now under the Disney logo, and it's not like in front of a Ice Age movie or whatever you want to put it as. So, interesting.
I wonder if now that they're with Disney, a Simpsons movie sequel is more possible.
Depends on.
I guess it really comes down to Brooks and Groening
yeah. I mean, Simon's no longer alive.
Yeah.
And I think also it'll have to do with the cast. And a lot of changes have been happening to The Simpsons over the past couple of years. What with some of the voice cast, but also just, they almost lost Harry Shearer at a certain point, but then he came, he signed back on.
It was hard enough to get that one, but
yeah,
it would be cool if they went back to like the creative team from seasons 3, 4, and 5. Like get Conan O'Brien in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, apparently he wanted to be involved in the writing of the first one, but just couldn't because of
he was way busier back then, for sure.
Yeah. Now he's in a situation where he could easily sit down and do it. I mean, as long as you can get Swartzwelder in that room, I'm all for that. Swartzwelder wrote some of the best episodes of that show.
He's a recluse, so
you've heard the commentary for the Cartridge Family, right? Where it's the gun episode. And they say they finally break down and they try to call John Swartzwelder on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody answers the phone and says they're cooking a steak, and they assume it's John. And at the end of the conversation, the person on the other end says, "Too bad this isn't actually John Swartzwelder," and then he hangs up. And they just leave it a mystery forever because he just doesn't do shit. He's written some great novels though that you should definitely check out. Some kind of sci-fi detective novels, like The Time Machine Made Me Do It. Day of the Dead's getting a TV series on Sci-Fi, and normally this would be whatever news, but I like Day of the Dead. I want to see if they can do that kind of zombie with the military kind of story.
I know, but TV zombies, like,
it depends on how they do those effects. I don't want anything CG coming from Sci-Fi, and that's usually their bag. So
it feels played out. I mean, Daybreak on Netflix didn't take, so
Daybreak, what's that?
Exactly.
Okay. Ryan never told me about it, so it
was a big news a few weeks. It's cancellation. But yeah, what else? There's like some other zombie thing I think on FX or something.
Yeah.
Maybe HBO.
But Day of the Dead.
But it's just like I think Walking Dead has like that market cornered, and it's like
and they've got
people still excited about zombie stuff. I get.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to play itself out a little bit. I think that it might be going out the door, but like sometimes every so often somebody has a way to kickstart that genre up again. It's never going to die, just like its characters itself.
Yeah.
So, only 2 more pieces of news. Mission Impossible 7 stopped production due to coronavirus. We found the one thing that could stop Tom Cruise. He couldn't outrun it. Couldn't outrun a virus.
It seems like he is outrunning it because he doesn't have it. He's avoiding it.
Yeah, exactly. Well.
He's the fastest man alive.
But at what cost? The production of the film itself. He ran away.
Maybe the movie isn't a movie. It's a real, like, Mission Impossible 7 and 8 are actually like a real world art thing where an actual supervillain has released coronavirus on the world,
and Tom Cruise
is actually trying to save us.
So that's why we have to live in a little bit of fear for a couple of weeks, is so that Tom Cruise can alleviate that fear. Oh, okay. So this is all one big art house prank.
He's currently like avoiding mercenaries on a stretch of road from Prague to Spain, and once he gets to Spain, he'll be able to meet up with the scientist who can synthesize the antidote.
He runs away from a germ cloud.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. The official statement is out of abundance of caution for the safety and well-being of our category. Germans. Everybody's after him with the virus. They're just coughing.
The Germans.
A bunch of people who didn't wash their hands. That's what it is.
Oh, because he'd had that fight in the bathroom in the last movie.
Exactly, and he didn't wash his hands. This is
Henry Cavill didn't wash his hands.
Exactly. Fucking Superman.
It all comes together. That's what he's tried to shake off his hands in the bathroom.
Exactly, and that's what spread the virus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a Mission Impossible Contagion colliding, story there.
MI7 Contagion. Ghost Contagion.
Could Steven Soderbergh come in and like guest direct a shot? I don't know what it would be. But yeah, it's just like after the Venetian government, they're shooting in Venice.
Mission Impossible 8 Vaccination.
Oh.
Instead of, what was it? Nation?
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
Vaccination.
Vaccination. The poster is Tom Cruise kind of looking like Dr. Mario. Has a big pill in his hand.
He's the Dr. Mario mask, and he pulls it off, and it's Tom Cruise.
Mamma mia. That's a spicy virus.
He does a halo jump out of a bomber. He's like,
whoa! Whoa! He rides on Yoshi at the end. It's.
How do we get Mario Brothers into this?
I don't know, but I mean, well, the Dr. Mario is kind of like a lead-in, but then we can just somehow just sneak in all the characters. You have to fight Bowser at the end, essentially, or the Boo Ghost, or I don't know, Kirby. Just throw Kirby in there. Why the fuck not?
I'm gonna start writing the script for Mission Impossible Germ Protocol and Mission Impossible Vaccination.
He has to fight Birdo, because Birdo's a fun villain.
He just shoots eggs out of her mouth.
Bow. Bow.
Easily avoidable.
Bow. You could just see Tom Cruise just jumping over him like ding. But yeah, they're going to have a hiatus. It doesn't say when they're going to resume everything, but yeah, here's hoping everybody on that crew is okay. And last but not least, Candyman. 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 We got a trailer for Candyman.
How many times was that?
5.
I couldn't count because I was rolling my eyes.
I believe it was 5. If it was 4, then I saved myself.
There's a mirror right behind you, right?
I know, but I didn't look into it, so Tony Todd's not going to come out and kill me.
Yeah, there's a mirror right here, too, and it's reflecting that mirror, so...
But I'm not looking into it. The person who's saying it has to
Did you know that your soul's a mirror? So, you're dead.
We got a trailer for Candyman.
Bees in here? What's going on?
Be my victim, Brad, you bitch. No, Nia DaCosta's reboot / sequel to Candyman, which is being co-written and produced by Jordan Peele. Tony Todd's back in it as the Candyman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is.
I didn't get that from the trailer at all.
Yeah, they're just not showing him. He's there. I'm hearing his voice. That's Tony Todd.
That's cool.
It looks like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to see that character kind of brought out into a more modern context. And it seems like it's going to be a direct sequel to the first Candyman. So it might deal
because that one character is also in there. Oh, I don't. What's her name?
God damn it.
It's fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I need
fans know.
Yeah. I mean, I like Candyman, but I'm not like
non-fans
a Candyman.
Don't care.
Yeah, I'm not a Candyman obsessive. Even though I can.
But visually, it looks gorgeous. It looks like a art film.
Yeah, which I mean, yeah, and it was interesting a lot. It seemed like a lot of apparently people were thinking this was Jordan Peele's next directorial movie, and had to be clarified. Nia DaCosta's
producer.
Yeah, Jordan Peele's the producer. So it's actually interesting. Since the trailer came out, there were articles saying like the first 3 are available on all streaming services right now. So the original's on Netflix, and Farewell to the Flesh and the third one are available on Prime, so you can check them all out and kind of go one by one. I have the original Candyman on Scream Factory Edition, which is a beautiful transfer, and I kind of like. It seems like the score is not going to be the same version of the Philip Glass score, but they are keeping that. They're keeping the music itself. It's just that the way it's produced is different. So
yeah, I'm not married to the first one, so change it up all you want.
Hey, maybe you'll be more open to it. And also, maybe since you don't have Prime, you can't check out Bill Condon's sequel. So, might be a fun one for you to watch. It's a pretty fun flick. And anyway, that's news. Unless I missed anything that you want to bring up.
No, I think we did plenty of news.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, more than we have in the past couple of weeks.
No, shorter shows are better.
Yeah,
especially when it's a shit show like us too.
Oh yeah.
What have you been watching, Zach?
So yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Not a whole lot. I've been watching more Futurama, and Ryan is absolutely correct. You know, the consistency of that show is incredible by comparison to The Simpsons, and what I love about it is that it manages to tell meaningful sci-fi stories while having the irreverent sense of humor, which I think it seems like that's very difficult to pull off in a writer's room. I have to imagine that writing a Futurama script is 10 times harder than writing a Simpsons script if I was going to take a wild stab in the dark on that. It's intricate. I like looking at these episodes as many times as I do because then I start catching the in gags. There's a lot of math jokes that are just in the background written on things that are actual legitimate math jokes that are then explained by the creatives and the commentaries and stuff. So it's pretty awesome to get to watch those and experience them for what they are. I rewatched the original Invisible Man prior to heading out to our movie of the week, and I still love that movie. It's still one of my favorite monster movies / horror movies ever made. It's pretty amazing that visual effect is one that the black velvet and kind of like just like photographing it out is an effect that stayed intact for the longest time in the terms of special effects in Hollywood up until the CGI craze. So it didn't really change the way some other effects kind of evolved in a different way because it was just that was the way you were able to pull off that effect. And we'll talk about it in our review, but there's a lot of stuff that carries over from a visual standpoint in between the two. But it also watching Claude Rains under those bandages giving that performance is still incredible. The movie is it's a James Whale production, and he made the first Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. He's got a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor. The Invisible Man is like the bridge between Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, where Bride of Frankenstein kind of becomes more of a horror comedy, and this one kind of melds the terror with the comedy in the slightest bit. Like it's just a tinge, but and Ryan and I have talked about it too, but the Invisible Man is the most diabolical and terrifying of those Universal monsters because he's a straight up just murderer and an egomaniacal man who, because of this serum, he's driven to fanciful notions of world domination and, unhitches train cars and kills hundreds of people at once. So, and he's just, it's kind of like watching Anarchy in Motion. It's fantastic. And Gloria Stewart, one of her many Universal Monster appearances, she would later go on to drop a diamond into an ocean. So yeah, wonderful flick. I did a fitness cinema and had the time of my life, and I owe it all to Dirty Dancing. Boo.
Is that from that movie? I've never seen it.
You've never seen Dirty Dancing?
No.
Yeah, I wasn't booing the movie. Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze, and Jennifer Grey. I had not seen the movie in a long ass time, and it'd be interesting to have a lot of people watch it from a modern context because it's not as egregious as some other 80s movies where like especially like John Hughes movies where they don't like quite hold up content wise. And in fact, Dirty Dancing is more mature than I think it gets credit for. Like, there's a whole side story about abortion, and it's done in a very respectful fashion. It's not treated as like a joke or anything. But the notions of a dance competition and a woman, defying her parents to find her passion and also love for a sweaty Patrick Swayze, like it's teen melodrama of the era, but somehow way more tolerable than the stuff that we get today. And I don't know if that's just me kind of looking at it with rose-colored glasses or not. But Patrick Swayze's fantastic in the movie, and it's so interesting that within this same span of time, he goes from this to Roadhouse. So it's a good time, and the music's fun. There's a young Wayne Knight in the movie pre-Jurassic Park, doing basically insult humor and being like kind of like the host of this. The story of Dirty Dancing is that they all go to a country club for the week, like a getaway club for the weekend. There's a bunch of rich people hanging around and whatnot. And Jennifer Grey's character is trying to find something more because before she goes to college, and she's more politically motivated, like, you know, to help kids in Vietnam because it's taking place during the 60s. And she finds herself mixing it around with the staff of this club, and they're all, you know, lower income or lower class people, and they're all just dancing.
Peasants.
Yeah, yes, peasants, but they're sexy peasants who dance the night away to rock
That's
and
all
roll
they have.
music, as opposed to the rich people who are dancing to old jazz. To which I'm like, don't make fun of old jazz, but they are co-opting it. And just kind of watching it's very much the, like, you know, lower class person and the higher class person, they fall in love and they solve all the problems by the end of the movie. But Wayne Knight's kind of like your, you know, funny announcer guy, like Radar on MASH kind of thing, where he's just kind of doing jokes and whatnot. And it's just so weird because you look at a young-faced Wayne Knight and you're just like, man, you got your whole future ahead of you. You're going to get spit in the eye by a dinosaur. You're going to help somebody solve the JFK mystery. You're going to fight with Jerry Seinfeld for 9 seasons, and then you're going to go out to help Michael Jordan defeat a bunch of aliens in a basketball game with the Looney Tunes. Wayne Knight, an American treasure. And also you have Jerry Orbach from Law & Order in that. He plays the dad, and he's fantastic in that movie. And the final scene of the movie with I Had the Time of My Life, that song, it's a wonderful finale to a movie, and it really does treat it like it's an old-fashioned musical. But
no one can hold a candle to Jerry Orbach.
No, you should be our guest someday. That didn't work. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And like I said, I don't know if it entirely holds up, but I think it's pretty okay. But all told, I was able to get about 1,100 calories burnt off of that thing. So hey, can't go wrong there, right? And then the last thing that I watched was I got to see. So this is a Shamley episode that'll be coming down the line, but I wanted to talk about it today. I got to see Alfred Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder in its original 3D format, with special thanks to Marshall Rosales, who's been on the show and has a 3D setup at his home with a nice projector and everything. And we did an episode on Dial M for Murder, and he decided I'm going to show him the actual version. And so in one day, I watched the 2D version and the 3D version with maybe 2 hours in between each viewing. And the differences are stark. Dial M for Murder, it primarily takes place in one location in a London flat and involves Ray Milland as a husband who is trying to set up the murder of his wife, played by Grace Kelly, so that he can inherit her money. And it's a typical kind of, you know, mystery plot of the era. It's something that would come out of Hitchcock's stock. The difference is that when you watch it in 3D, it was very clear that Hitchcock knew what he was doing with the technology, and much like the people who use 3D correctly, he used it to immerse the audience rather than to play with gimmicks. So there's not, with the exception of 2 real key moments in the movie, there's not a lot of like, look, a paddle ball like coming at you in 3D, or like, oh no, it's people reaching out to you. When he uses tricks like that, they are essential to the story and not to the effect of 3D. The scope is fantastic. The voyeurism that Hitchcock has throughout his normal films is enhanced by this because he puts stuff in the foreground to add to that effect. So you feel like you're a voyeur in the London flat. You're like listening in on Ray Milland's conversations with the people he's hiring to commit these murders, or, you know, how he's trying to get away with it. So you almost feel like you're an active participant in the madness that is going on inside this flat. So if you ever have a chance to watch Dial M for Murder in 3D, I highly, highly recommend you do so. That is the way to watch that movie. It was shot for that reason. And the 2D version, I mean, it's fine. It's a fun watch. You should still watch the movie. It's a fantastic little mystery thriller. But the 3D adds something to it that, you know, like, I like Hugo a lot, but I haven't watched Hugo a lot after watching it in 3D because I do feel it worked really well in 3D. And, you know, I haven't watched Avatar outside of the one time I saw it in theaters in 3D. So, you know, sometimes some movies that are made for 3D work in that format for a reason. So you'll be able to hear that episode is coming down the line, and Marshall really advocates for that technology as long as it's used properly. So, and that's all I watched this week. Brad, what did you watch this week?
Not a lot. I rewatched Logan in color and black and white.
Hey,
and
speaking of Mangold.
Yeah, Mangold.
Gold Man.
Mangold. I think it was my number 2 for 2017. Mm-hmm. Great film. I really wish Patrick Stewart got more recognition for his performance in that. Mm-hmm. Like, Hugh Jackman's crushing it, but also just Patrick Stewart in a supporting role. Like,
dude, the
devastating.
Moment in the bed.
Yeah.
The regrets he pours out. It's incredible.
And
I still like his thing with the when we first see him for the first time in the movie, and he's having one of his mental strokes, and he's talking about try the new quesalupa at Taco Bell.
Yep. So I haven't watched The Wolverine in a while, so I'm gonna try and grab that and check it out again because I kind of gave it a pass.
I have it.
First time I saw it.
I have it if you want to borrow it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I probably will then.
Yeah.
I rewatched Back to the Future Part 3 because it is the third. Well, just because it's great anyway, but it's a 30th anniversary of that this year too.
Great Scott.
Huh?
Great Scott.
Yep, that's Michael Scott's production company. Yeah, that movie's tons of fun. When I loaded it up on the digital streaming, it had the Rotten Tomato of like 76%. I was like, screw you people.
Yeah, that seems mean.
Yeah, like these are.
Well, how many of those reviews are from the period?
Yeah, I didn't look at that, but I'm still like that should be. All 3 of those belong in the 90s.
Well, they were made in the 80s. But
saw that coming a mile away from you. Anyway, the last thing I saw that was probably the most interesting of this week is I saw Blumhouse's Fantasy Island.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm on record that I still want to see this movie. So I guess here's your chance to deflate my balloon.
Yeah, it was one of the most boring things I've seen in theaters.
Oh, no.
I'm not terribly familiar with the TV show. Like, I get the premise of...
Yeah.
Strangers come to an island. Mr. Rourke provides them a fantasy, and I think
not a fantasy, a fantasy.
I think in the TV show they're supposed to be good, like more fun fantasies, and obviously Blumhouse took it in a dark direction.
Yeah, I mean they're not like they've got their own consequences, but they're not strictly horror based.
And I wouldn't say these are horror based. Like there's some violent things that happen. But nothing that's like Invisible Man scary, you know?
Oh, spoilers for our review.
Yeah, it wasn't... I'd probably classify it as a thriller. And
okay.
The main thing was that I never found any of the people on the island, their fantasies or their problems interesting.
Okay.
So...
Like the things they were desiring were not of any like particular interest to maybe say.
Yeah, and the movie has so many... Like, guess what? Now this is happening.
Oh, twist!
I bet you didn't know this was connected.
Okay.
And you're just kind of like, they come at you too fast for me to keep up with. Like, I'm already not invested with what these people are going on, and also I'm trying to figure out like how this is even possible. Is the movie going to explain that it's a MacGuffin, or are they going to try to make sense of the fact that these fantasies are able to manifest?
Yeah. And there's no.
So, I'm wondering about that. I'm not invested in what the people are going through. Yeah.
Okay.
And it just makes the fact that they're kind of all connected unsatisfying.
Okay.
So, yeah, just didn't get me.
Okay. I mean, I still might check this out at some point. I guess my biggest question would be how Michael Pena is as a Rourke. But, I mean, you don't really have a basis other than...
I mean, if you're going to cast Michael Pena, I don't want to tell an actor that they can only be one thing. I don't want to typecast him like, oh, well, Michael Pena's in the movie. He has to be funny.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I never watched Ricardo Montalban do it. So...
Bradley, you should.
But just cultural influence tells me that he did it the best. And Michael Pena's not Ricardo Montalban. So
You're also on record as saying that Benedict Cumberbatch is no Ricardo Montalban, so
did I say that?
I don't think so, no. I'm just...
I mean, I thought I made a fine con in that version of the universe, but
I love both those cons. But I mean, obviously Montalban's the one that sticks in my head because that's the one I watched in my younger years prior to even having a Cumberbatch as an option. I mean, Fantasy Island, I've seen reruns of it on and off, and it's mainly I'm looking out for, like, when is Ricardo Montalban coming on screen? Otherwise, I could not care less. So, yeah, okay.
yeah, there was one surprising thing. This is in the beginning of the movie, so there's a tattoo character. Well, she's not tattoo, but she does what... You know,
what tattoo?
the movie opens with her running across the beach yelling, the plane, the plane.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, they got rid of that character, replaced it with this character.
Because they can't do that.
But by the end of the movie, there is a tattoo. And it was kind of like out of nowhere, but it made sense. So the movie was trying to set up a franchise, but I don't think it's going to make it.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I just wish they probably should have done that at the beginning of the movie and not the very end. So,
Okay.
yeah, it was just kind of boring and flat. And also, in the middle of the movie, the cleaning people came in and started cleaning the theater.
They're just like, nobody's in here.
Yeah.
That's a shame for... that's mainly Sony kind of trying to tap their own property, so they pitched it to Blumhouse as like, what can you do with this, Mr. Blum? And
Yeah.
Jason's like, well, I don't know, try this.
Yeah, I think his biggest thing is trying to, its biggest Achilles heel is trying to explain why any of the fantasies are possible.
Okay.
And I feel like what they went with is kind of dumb. I mean, not stupid, but just lame.
Okay. Fair enough. Hey, not everything can be a hit with that company, and I love that company.
Or trite. It's just, yeah.
Oh, wow. It feels harsh.
Simple.
Okay.
Obvious. Or an easy way out.
Okay. I gotcha.
So.
Cool. Well, right on. Well, maybe I'll check it out and see what I think.
Yeah, always form your own opinions.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Watch things for yourself if you're curious.
Yes.
Or
Or just watch some clips of me, Ricardo.
You are doing a disservice to that man's legacy.
I do not bother to check on the progress of my imitation.
The man is dead. Show some respect.
Cool.
All right, that brings us to Corinne's Catching the Classics for this week.
Woohoo!
Hey nerds, Corinne here for part 33 of Catching the Classics, where I watch famous and popular movies I've never seen before and send in my review. This week I watched the classic, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? And I gotta say, it is funny. Is it supposed to be this funny? Just love seeing all the different reactions on, like, both sets of the parents whenever they meet their kid's significant other, and oh my gosh, it was... oh my god, the funniest... Okay, there are two really funny scenes that stand out in my mind. When the daughter and Katharine Hepburn's character are, like, upstairs and they're ironing, and she's, like, trying to tell her mom, like, the whole spiel, and then, like, the mom basically asked her, like, so, have you guys, like, done it yet? And she straight up admits, like, no, we haven't. He wouldn't let us. And the look on Katharine Hepburn's face. Oh, it's so good. And then the other one is when the housekeeper, Tilly, comes in and Sidney Poitier's Dr. Prentice is changing, and he, like, covers himself up with a shirt, and she's just, like, standing there, like, berating him, and she's like, what are you doing? And then she walks out of the room, and she's like, and you're not even that good looking. And I'm like, did you just say that to Sidney motherfucking Poitier? Like, girl, did you even have eyes? He's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was, the girl's like, yeah, I fell in love with him after 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, it only took me 30, but half of that was, like, credits, girl. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that scene where he comes in and he tells the parents that, you know, I recognize, like, this relationship has, you know, it's come up very quickly, and, like, we want to get married, and I'm in love with your daughter, but I don't want her to jeopardize her relationship with you, so if you don't consent, then we're not going to get married. And I was like, oh, take me away now, Sidney Poitier. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was funny. But also, like, there were a lot of great, poignant moments, too. Like, the different speeches that the various characters make throughout the film, especially toward the end whenever the apprentices show up. Oh my gosh. Like, there's so much star power in this movie, but I gotta say, like, the MVP is, I think, B. Richards or Bea Richards. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce her name, but she plays Mrs. Prentice. And holy shit, she gets like 15 minutes of screen time, but she just like captivates you, and she so wonderful. And I love the fact that, you know, there were conversations between black people and white people, and like they were on an even footing. Like, it wasn't, you know, an employer talking to an employee or, you know, whatever. It was like two sets of parents who were, you know, it's like our kids want to get together and neither of us really feel good about it, or both of us feel good about it, or whatever. And so it was like, it was great to see like both, like all four of them were equals effectively. So, although then it kind of gets diminished a little bit at the end when the last line is the white man yelling at a black woman, "When are we going to eat?" I'm like, okay, you had so much goodwill built up and now some of it is gone. Oh my gosh. But no, it's a wonderful movie and so many great moments, and both funny and powerful. So, yeah, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. There were like a couple of little tiny things that bothered me about it. The outdated terminology they use. I mean, I know that was probably the most respectful way to say it at the time. You know, the different terms that they use for black people. But obviously it's dated now, and I realize they can't help that, but it still just makes the movie feel a little bit awkward sometimes. And then the other thing was like, there's just like jet setting all over the place. Was air travel so much like cheaper and easier back then? Because the couple like flies in from Hawaii that morning or like early afternoon, like around lunchtime, they land. And then they say they're going to fly out that night to New York and then fly the next day to Geneva. And then the apprentices fly up from Los Angeles in like a snap. It's, where is this kind of air travel? They make it sound like it's just a long car ride. Like, oh, no big deal. Like, we'll just hop on a flight to Los Angeles or to San Francisco from Los Angeles. Must have been nice back in the 60s. Shit. Well, except for all the racism, but, oh, yeah. So, and admittedly, like, I think we're in a better place now, you know, watching this film. I mean, there's definitely still racism today, don't get me wrong, but I think we're in a better place now than we were then. That, you know, I think interracial couples, especially, like, it might be weird in some pockets of the country, but I think at least here in Denver, like if you walked around and it was an interracial couple of any races, I don't think most people would care. But yeah, bringing them home to your parents, a little bit different. Anyway, so yeah, 4.5 stars, really good movie. You should all check it out if you haven't already. It's on Netflix. And so next time, we're going to put up another poll. So it should be on the Facebook page already, maybe. Go vote on it. I will let you guys pick if I watch Inglourious Bastards or Zodiac next. So go vote in the poll if you haven't already. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.
I would say no matter what race you are, bringing your significant other to meet your parents is awkward.
Yeah, especially if it would end up being me. I mean, could you imagine having to explain me? That would be freaking difficult.
Yeah, I don't think you'd make it through the threshold.
No. I'd be kicked out immediately. Like Jazzy Jeff being thrown out of the Fresh Prince house.
So you come up the driveway.
Yeah, it's funny. Like she was bringing up the more comedic elements of that film, and it is very much a dramedy of its era to a certain degree. And there's always kind of a blending of humor in a good drama anyway. And you know, we it's funny, like within the last 3 years, you know, Get Out, when it came out, you know, it has a significant amount of humor for being the horror movie that it is, obviously, because, you know, Jordan Peele comes from that comedy world, but like there's a situation where you can find humor in that. And, you know, Stanley Kramer directed Guess Who's Coming to Dinner back in '67, and it's unlikely that he wouldn't have some form of humor stuck in there, and the performances in that film are fantastic all around. And she was talking about the woman who plays Mrs. Prentice, and that is Bae Richards. She was nominated for an Oscar for supporting actress for this movie, so as well as a Golden Globe. So and she is fantastic in the movie. She isn't given that much, but what she is, she works with it. It's very much like Viola Davis in Doubt. But yeah, I still think it's a fantastic film.
I've never seen it, so
you should watch it. You might find it interesting. I mean, and as far as like the outdated terminology, like yes, and it's. I will say though that movie is not even close to trying to hurt anybody's feelings at all whatsoever. It is trying to tell a very progressive story. So
has Criterion done that one?
I believe they have. If they haven't, they should get on that, because then they can make a Stanley Kramer pack. If it's not there, it's Kino Lorber, and because Kino Lorber put out Judgment at Nuremberg, which is, I think, one of Stanley Kramer's finest films. That's depressing but great. And as far as your next film to watch, I don't know. One of them is the third greatest movie of all time, and then the other one is an equally great film on its own merits and number one for a lot of people.
That's a tough call. I don't know which one I'd pick of those two.
I want to know how boring she finds Zodiac, because I think she'll find it boring, even though it's amazing. It's pretty amazing. Inglourious Basterds, on the other hand, I don't know. She wasn't even interested in seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know if she'll be up for Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
I don't know. Corinne, tell us what your opinion is on Quentin Tarantino at large.
It's another revisionist history Tarantino, so
and it's the first time he really does that and kind of tests those waters with well, we don't want to spoil what he does, even though I guess it's pretty out in the open. But yeah, Corinne, tell us what you end up watching. If it's Zodiac, let me know how boring you think it is, and then I will immediately say you're wrong, because that movie's great.
Well, she's gonna have to go up against you, James, and Ryan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're the only one who'd be in her corner.
I don't hate it. I'm just not as like head over heels as you guys are for it.
You're just like, okay, just walked out. But yeah, cool, awesome. Thank you, Corinne.
Yeah, that brings us to this week's review of The Invisible Man 2020.
Yep. Just The Invisible Man, please. Let's keep some austerity here. It's a monster movie.
It's not the original.
That's true.
It is a fresh take.
Yes.
On a classic film. Zach, what'd you think of The Invisible Man?
I'm glad you asked, should people see The Invisible Man? Because that's a trick question. They can't. Because normally it's, should people go see it? I think you should. I was very happy. That's
not what I asked. I thought, what'd you think of it?
Oh, what'd you think? Okay. I think people should go see this movie. I think you should be seeing it in droves. I loved how this movie was able to make the monster scary again. We haven't had that in a long, long time. These monsters that come back from the past era, that were done very effectively in the 30s for audiences back then, it's very hard to find a take on them that makes them genuinely scary. And I think what Lee Wannell did, which was amazing, which was strip it down to its core elements of the idea of invisibility and found a poignant story to tell within that. I think Elizabeth Moss is fantastic in this film. I think this film is directed quite beautifully for a monster movie and for a film in general. And I think that he makes perfect use of the things that he set up with his directorial debut Upgrade to, or not his debut, but his previous film Upgrade, to really kind of tap into how you can create some energy and some tension and terror into this piece. I absolutely recommend you check this out, and I think it's probably one of my favorite movies of the year thus far. Brad, should people? What did you think of The Invisible Man?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Zach. I was actually impressed by the movie. I wouldn't say The Invisible Man was scary, but it was unsettling because I felt like the entire movie, The Invisible Man was somewhere in the frame. So and when I was done with the film, I generally had the feeling of like I wanted to look over my shoulder constantly on my way home in the real world. So I think it was a very effective thriller. But there were some dumb moments that I had questions about. So we'll tackle those in spoilers.
Okay.
So
Can I introduce it?
okay.
How do you do? The Real Nerds would like to present to you the trailer
Sorry, fucking mistake.
for The Invisible Man. I think it'll thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. But just listen.
Is that a nod to the original? Because we're talking about the new film, Zach.
It's just Universal Monsters, and I like it, and this is all a lot of fun.
Adrian? He was a sociopath. He said that I could never leave him. He controlled how I looked and what I wore. Then it was controlling when I left the house. And eventually, what I thought. I'm sorry, I can't take you with me. I'm not gonna leave you with that thing on. Are you okay? What happened to him?
Adrian's dead.
Listen, you're getting your freedom back, okay?
He said that wherever I went, he would find me. Walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him. Adrian is dead. He's not dead. He has figured out a way to be invisible.
Are you okay?
He's sitting in that chair. Where are you? Show yourself!
Surprise. Let me help you.
You can't help me. Surprise.
So the update of The Invisible Man. Elizabeth Moss is a tortured girlfriend
Yes.
of a tech billionaire who works in optics, and she is trying to escape this toxic relationship. And one night,
Cecilia, yeah.
Cecilia clumsily does that.
I don't say clumsily. Like, mistakes happen when you're, trying to do any kind of thing, period. Like, especially something that's stressful.
She could have planned that so much better, given how competent she is. But I feel like she bumbles it in a way that is intentional to just produce a plot.
I would argue that she is, with the amount of terror that she feels from a person who has been abusing her for those years, something just happens because you're on the edge of your own, like you're on edge. And so I think it motivates it properly.
Yeah, but
Is the dog bowl a little convenient? Yeah, but
the dog bowl is a little convenient. I can let that one slide. But I feel like the amount of packing she has to do probably should have been done earlier.
And it feels like she wasn't even sure if the plan would even work, because it feels like she's not even sure if her sister will show up, because there's that moment where she's outside of the property and she's wondering, where are you?
Yeah.
Does she even know if the sister's going to show up?
I think she expected her to, but I don't think the sister's taking it seriously enough that she is.
Because she does say what's going on.
Yeah, like she's not in on what's going on. So,
yeah. But Adrian has.
She's not in a hurry as much as Elizabeth is. Yeah.
Yeah, but Adrian Griffin.
Me.
Now. Griffin is the name of the Invisible Man in most of the original Invisible Man movies. Thank you very much. But he finds that she's disappeared and like fucking breaks the glass of that car. And I think that scene for the most part, outside of what you are bringing up, I don't agree. I think it does work on that tension level. However, though, it's a pretty effective opening to a movie that works off of. We don't need any dialogue. We are watching it unfold.
Yeah, no, I will not dispute that the movie is effective at terrifying and creating suspense.
Mm-hmm.
But you bring up the fact that he punches the window with his bare fist.
That is a little extreme. Not extreme.
So here's where I'm going. He punches. He's so strong that he breaks that window on the first try. He flips the table later when he's assaulting her in the home.
Yeah.
And you're revealed that he exists. And then she is able to slice his throat and hold him down in the finale of the movie. The superhuman that has flipped that gigantic table in one thrust cannot overpower the woman once she's got the suit on.
Right. Okay.
So that I was a little like, I mean, it's a cool scene to end the movie, but I'm just like, doesn't add up.
I think,
unless metaphorically, like, well, she's so strong now in a thematic sense,
which I feel like that's a great way to look at it within that respect. I think just more from she gets the upper hand and gets that throat. He's just taken aback that she would stand up for herself that way. I
guess, but at the same time, like, he's proven himself so strong to flip that table and punch that glass that he couldn't overpower her. Like, she has been like he has tossed her around the entire movie, and when she's simply just standing behind him, he's suddenly so incredibly weak. I was just like, okay.
So I think you can chalk a little bit of this up to, again, we are dealing with a thriller in some senses, a tech thriller, not unlike what Upgrade ended up being. Was it 2 years ago now? Upgrade came out.
I think so.
So, but at the end of the day, we are dealing with a Universal monster movie or a monster movie in general, and so
I'm not saying it ruined it for me, but I'm just like,
but I think that kind of can be overcome with just watching a character you've followed and relate to and can identify with succeed. And then, I mean, at least for me, I'm able to kind of overlook it. But I understand how it is interestingly, like, how she is overcoming. But I think at this point, she's just had it at this point. So,
with all the care that that went into this movie, it seems like, and as effective as it is, it's weird that things like that fall by the wayside. The other thing is, when she finds the stuff in the attic, and it's a cool reveal when she dumps the paint on him. But he really effectively cleans himself off, having not gone to the sink until.
Well, she takes a minute to get down those stairs too.
But you never hear him washing until she gets around the corner, and then he is spotless. Like,
yeah,
paint is not easy to clean up like that, and it's not as confined to the sink. Yeah. Especially when you're trying to get, like, that should be all over the floor. He should, obviously they clean him up so that it's like a cool reveal in the room, but, realistically, you're just like, how's this possible? Like,
I guess, like, the only way that I could, like, counteract that would be, I mean, and it kind of delves into what we should talk about, which is how the invisibility is achieved in this movie, because it's not how it's been done in the past with, like, a serum or, heck, even the Hollow Man technology. We're dealing with a suit, and
which is cool.
Which is a really great. Yeah, it was a great thing. My thing is just like, I guess it's more just like, maybe the suit, can reflect the light, because it's essentially it's got to be reflecting.
It's a real world thing.
Yeah,
a cloak.
Yeah,
that people are creating is based on using cameras and light wavelengths to bend.
Yeah, to bend the space
hide,
around.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't really have an answer for it unless it's just the director using sound how he wants to. I mean, Hitchcock did that all the time, and filmmakers still do that, where sound is only addressed for the immediacy of the character itself or where it's important. So it's a decision, you know.
But I can't imagine like how much more effective that scene would have been had I not been thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like during that scene.
Yeah. I mean, it's ultimately a good horror moment, and it builds on it. But I understand absolutely.
It just takes me out of it. Like instead of focused on the scene, I'm just like, how do you clean him off so fast? Like,
right.
When did he even clean himself at all? Because we haven't heard the sink until she got into the kitchen. So
yeah.
Okay. And then all of a sudden, bam, reveal. I'm like, oh shoot, I should be paying attention to the movie and not thinking about how things work. So, but otherwise, like the lengths that Adrian goes to terrorize her and make her think she's crazy.
Yeah, and so the main plot within this, it's not like a normal Invisible Man movie where like the Invisible Man like talks up a storm and plays a bunch of jokes on people. It's a pretty much a silent Invisible Man throughout most of this movie. But Adrian slashes his wrists and commits suicide. And
or does he?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So Celia is granted $5 million from his estate under the condition that she is not found insane or found guilty of a crime. And slowly, the Invisible Man is torturing Cecilia to reach that end, and
ruining her relationships with her friends
and her family, and really causing terror, and it dives well into the elements of abusive relationships and post-traumatic stress disorder and that kind of trauma that ensues within that. What's interesting is what I found fascinating about this movie in terms of how it's being a monster movie. There's more than one Invisible Man in the movie,
which I totally saw coming.
Yeah, I did too when they revealed the suit. That's when I was like, okay, so clearly the brother's involved somehow. It didn't take me out of it. I was just like, okay, this is a good choice, because I'm in favor of that, because this technology is a good way to introduce the Invisible Man concept into the 21st century. It's just like we can't do the alchemy thing again, which I mean was the thing that like. I love the Wolfman movie from 2010, and I love how it sticks to that Victorian root, but it also kind of ages it in a way that like it's not going to relate to people the way it did, say, back in the 30s. And this one takes the appropriate steps to modernize it without shoving it down my face, I think. Because like even the phone access in this movie is not like made a huge deal of, except for when it's absolutely necessary. Like that great moment where she discovers that Adrian's phone is up there. I think that's a great reveal of a cell phone in a house that you're trying to look. I thought it was a fantastic reveal. And he shoots it accordingly well. But yeah, his brother who has been, who gave her the information about the will and whatnot, has been pulling strings for Adrian. And it would seem it's because it's revealed that he has found out, through the course of these events, that Celia was pregnant with Adrian's child, and that whatever goal Adrian had in mind initially to drive her crazy has changed, and will make the brother reaches out to her when she's insane and after having slashed her sister's throat in the or the Invisible Man does it. Slashes her sister's throat in a restaurant in public, and what I think is one of the most terrifying scenes of the year.
Yeah,
is that just the way it's revealed? Is
that I wasn't expecting, but
yeah.
The way it's shown with that floating knife, just these two close-up shots that back and forth, and you think Cecilia's finally going to be able to like reach out, like get across to somebody, and then like you're watching Cecilia, and you're not even. Like, I'm not even paying attention to what her sister's looking at until it just twitches a little bit, and there's suddenly, like, a knife next to her.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, wait. And then it's just quick.
Yeah.
It's super quick.
It's a great reveal.
Yeah. It's a great edit, and then it slows appropriately down. But it's found when she's taken to an institution after being arrested, it's found out through blood work that she's pregnant with Adrian's child, which is something that she was avoiding by trying to take, birth control to avoid having his child so that she wouldn't have to stay in the relationship.
I guess he artificially inseminated her anyway.
It's either that or
raped
just
her.
Yeah, well, it's there's implied. So I think it's implied rape. Yeah, it's not shown, but that's what's the deal here. So the brother says, we'll make this all go away if you sign over the custody of the kid. And basically he wants control of her again, and she just refuses, rightfully so. And then she finds a way to fight the Invisible Man in a wonderful action/horror sequence in the hospital with the. I mean, they showed a little bit in the trailer, but they don't show the whole thing, and I'm glad they don't show the whole thing in that trailer because the whole scene itself is, I think, one of the more inventive action sequences in a horror movie. If you've seen Upgrade, there's a lot of that fast motion involved. And she's able to make the suit go haywire by stabbing Adrian in the shower when she is able to get access to a pen. So instead of having a man in bandages as the Invisible Man, we get this. And I thought, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's clever. That's a good way to get an Invisible Man that you can see. Without having to do the bandage thing and the glasses and the top hat and stuff. And then we're treated to some very scary stuff outside. And
another thing that took me out of the movie is I'm surprised, the rain should be bouncing off of him.
It kind of, it's floating down him. Huh? It's kind of streaming down him.
Yeah, but it seems like he should be easier to spot. Like, obviously they're doing it to make the scene more suspenseful by not being able to see him, but
yeah,
he's a physical body. Like the rain should be bouncing off of that structure, and she should be able to spot him easier. But I get it; they're trying to make it creepier and scarier.
Yeah, I mean, and no, it makes logical sense within that respect. I mean, I think like Hollow Man, I haven't watched Hollow Man in forever, and I don't plan on doing it necessarily. But I remember that the logic around that, like the CGI logic, was like a little bit more consistent with what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then sometimes, like most of the time, that is a CGI character.
Mm-hmm.
So later on, when it's later on in the fight in the home, when it's the brother in the suit,
yeah,
when he falls over dead, it's not the best CGI body animation I've seen in a while. So it seemed a little goofy.
Okay.
So, it looked like a CGI character, unfortunately.
Right. I mean, and I think that's just a matter of the way that suit looks anyway. Like, you're kind of like, I mean, I like the way it's kind of flashing in and out with the face and whatnot in different parts of the body.
That's cool. I just mean when he falls over, the compositing just looks like they forgot to render something.
I'd have to rewatch it. I didn't recognize that right away.
I'm not even sure why it's CGI at that point. Like, I feel like that the full thing's exposed. It should just be a real.
I think it's because the cameras are eternally moving. Like, because they established that when she discovers the existence of the suit, those cameras are always kind of whirring, even though they're not activating the invisibility portion of the suit.
Yeah, but like a God's eye view of it, where he actually falls to the ground, I'm like, that could have just been a
guy in a
It's
suit.
far away. Like, you could paint the cameras on.
Just use sound effects to kind of cover it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you are dealing with a $7 million movie. Maybe they just made a decision.
It would have been cheaper to put a guy in a scuba suit.
Regardless of that, though, the twist is that the brother is in the suit, and that it's implied that Adrian has been a captive of his own brother. But we know off the bat that this is not the case, because
no, the whole time I knew that they were working in tandem.
But and so here's the question I have for you, because Lee Wannell, who directed the film and wrote the film, he's known for twists. This is the guy who created Saw.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time there's been a Lee Wannell twist where, because I know the information already up front from just way Celia's talking about Adrian and her history with him, it's a twist where I'm just like, it's a Hitchcockian twist. We're already ahead of this. We know what this is going to turn out as, and it's an emotional payoff for the character of just like, no, you don't understand. He's not going to stop. This isn't about him being a victim of his brother. This has always been what he's up to. So it's on the surface it's a twist, but it's also just a way to keep that plot going while still kind of, giving the audience a little bit of a jolt. So I didn't find it as off, but I wasn't a big fan of the end of Upgrade, if I recall correctly, where the twist that it had at the end.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that this was interesting where it plays on a twist, but we as the audience clearly know that's not the case. I don't think there's a single person watching this movie who assumes that Adrian is innocent in any way, shape, or form, just based off of the way we've been setting this up.
No.
So it's interesting how they play it that way. And then the finale, we get an Invisible Man monologue of sorts, just in the form of Oliver Jackson Cohen, who I've never heard of up until this point, playing Adrian in his visible form, and the culmination of this abusive relationship comes in the form of the Invisible Woman slashing his throat. And knowing the proper angle of the security camera, she's able to get away with it. I loved that ending a lot. Obviously, we talked about the physics of everything with just her superhuman.
I was reminded that early on, because she was able to do that to him because she hid that extra suit earlier in the movie, and I remember thinking when she escaped the house and called that Uber, how did he keep up with her? He must be the fastest man alive.
So
he's either attached himself to the car and followed with them,
or he was just found a way to get ahead of her somehow.
Yeah, but she had enough. If he was attached to the car to get out to his house, she still had plenty of time to go in, go down to the basement, find it, hide it. If he was attached to the car, he would have been with her the entire time. So,
it's Did you read any articles about the film afterward with Lee Wannell discussing it? He said something that I found very interesting, and I don't know if this helps you out at all with the logic department, but there's moments where in this film where you look around corners and you don't know if the Invisible Man's in the room. And he said, and he was rather coy about it, he's just I might be the only one who knows where he actually is in every frame of the movie. And in terms of where you think he might be lurking. And there's a lot of moments in the movie where he's not where you think he is. So that doesn't explain that on the surface of just the movie, but it's very clear he's kind of playing with the idea of this is a person who just somehow finds a way to get to where he needs to be to enact his terror. So I know it doesn't explain it on a logic element, but it's interesting to think about.
I'm just saying, when you don't explain stuff like that, I'm sitting there in the movie distracted, trying to think okay, well, did he the only explanation is that he had a car around the block, got in it, and followed 10 minutes behind or something.
Well, we also don't know how long it takes the Uber driver to figure out how to get there, per se, because it's an Uber driver. How does he know exactly where
But
to
still,
go?
if there's a delay, how does he know, what her next move was going to be, I just don't know how...
Well, fair enough.
If he showed up an hour later and she was gone and started rifling through his stuff, trying to figure out, oh, someone's been in the house.
I guess
that
so,
would make sense.
Yeah.
But it was so close together.
Yeah.
It makes sense for the pacing of the movie, but it's, again, left me kind of distracted going how does that make sense?
Fair enough. I'd have to rewatch the movie again with these notes in mind because I want to, I'm definitely going to this movie again. It's a good scary time at the movies for my taste. And I think that
also,
oh god.
The movie never resolved if she's really pregnant, what she's going to do with that kid.
I don't think it needs to. I don't think it needs to resolve that issue. The bottom line is Adrian's dead at this point now. So that the element of the problem in that relationship is removed by the end of this movie, and she gets her healing is allowed to commence properly.
Yeah,
because it's explained at the top of this movie it's as long as he is around, he is not going to stop. And she talks about the fear of just he once said to me that he would find a way to find me, and I could be in a room and not even know he was there. And it's about getting rid of that ghost that is haunting you within a physical manifestation, and also to wrap up the fact that she's not going to go away for taking out this scumbag because of the way she arranges it with her cop friend, where she's the one who knows Adrian's security cameras. So I think that the baby's future is irrelevant to a certain extent, even though it is a bit of an important plot point for a certain section of the emotional motivation of the movie.
I'm still curious though, how much does she hate Adrian to would she get an abortion because she doesn't want to have any connection to him at all?
But I think she's not
or
even...
would she like, well, it's not, this child's not his fault.
Yeah.
But also she like early on says like, you know, I went through great lengths to not have his kid.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. We're more left on her victory by the end, that I think that question is not fully needed to be answered. But again, you know, it's interesting to think about because that is an emotional crux that is addressed by the finale.
Yeah. And it's a cool reveal because it also, early on when she is in her officer friend's house, and she first starts talking to the wall, you know, sensing that he's there.
Yeah.
And she's wondering, like, why me? Like, why?
That scene. Oh, my God.
Like, of all the women you can have, like, why are you so fixated on me?
Yeah.
And then the fact that he knows that he's impregnated her, just, like, looking back makes that scene.
Yeah. And because
all I'm thinking about at that point, I'm just like, yeah, why? Like, what's special about her? Like, you could just have there's plenty of other fish in the sea.
Well,
like, why Cecilia?
But he's this psychotic, like, and I think, and it's what's interesting is that element is able to exist, one, on the level of what they're talking about with an abusive relationship, but number two, the Invisible Man in every iteration has always have some form of insanity that's involved in it, and it's mainly structured within the novel, the original novel by H.G. Wells. It's a man who goes insane. In this case, the power of invisibility doesn't drive him insane. It's just that he's always been insane, and now he has the ability to...
I would say he's insane. I'd say he's just such a narcissist.
Well, he's a narcissist, yes, but he's also mad. Like, he's fucking nuts. Like, just the lengths he is willing to go to torture this woman. That's fucking insane, in my opinion. But
it is, but I appreciated that... God, what was I going to say if you distracted me?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to... But she is talking about the...
the fact that, like, it's not like this movie just doesn't explain away that he's crazy. They give it a good they reinforce his narcissism with the fact that, yeah, he's so wealthy, he's so powerful that he could have someone else besides Cecilia do this, but it's because that he is so actually weak inside that he needs her.
Yeah,
because no one else will put up, like,
with that amount of bullshit
with his personality,
and his assumption is that, like, you will put up with this, and that combined with the narcissism, combined with the control complex, combined with the insanity, that all comes together in just this horrifying monster that, you know, I mean, I found it interesting that, like, we're not adapting H.G. Wells directly, but, like, that concept is still there. Like, it hasn't gone away. It's just that it's been restructured and retooled, and I think it's a monster that this current era, and I think it's an era that's kind of timeless to a certain respect of just how relationships are handled by these control freaks and weirdos, that, you know, this kind of story can last even beyond what the original Invisible Man was able to do. Like, I see this as something that can extend beyond even just the current era that we are dealing with the immediacy of it. So, because the timing of the movie's release is, you know, coming off of, amongst other things, the Weinstein trial coming to an end in New York. So, you know, there's a lot of wraparound with this that is very interesting to note from a historical level. To see how it'll impact down the line, I'm very interested to see. And I liked the music in this movie. Had a little bit of a Saw flair in certain parts in it, but there's some over the top horror music going on that fits the scenes well.
Honestly, I don't remember any of it.
There's kind of like a nice little, like, big orchestra feel to it towards the end. I really liked that kind of feel, especially when she's at the end. And there's also some kind of, like, I don't know how to describe the music. I don't want to call it Charlie Clouser's, like, score for Saw, where it's kind of heavy string industrial kind of feel to it, but
if you say so. I don't remember it at all.
So.
I can't hear it in my head right now at all. Not that it's bad, I can't hear it.
I think the way I was reading it, I was looking at it just like, man, he's placing stuff in a correct way where, like, certain scenes can have a more modern feel, but some of these need, like, a classical horror score kind of behind it. So he mixes, the score is mixed very well in terms of finding different tones. Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's proven pretty well at the box office that Blumhouse gave him a 3-year first look deal. So good for Lee Wannell to find a way to revitalize the monsters in a way that Tom Cruise certainly could not do. So yeah, I'm just saying, give me some more monsters. Give me a new Wolfman movie if you must, or give me a new Dracula. I'd love a new Dracula. He had a pitch for Dracula about stripping away the cape and whatnot, and I was like, I'm down with that. I don't need the cape.
Just, I mean, I feel like Taika Waititi's What We Do in the Shadows modernized vampires pretty well, considering it's not modern.
Yeah.
I mean, it's modern, but it's not. But I would say like the energy vampire would be a good,
yeah, a good way to go about that. But
a modern analog for that.
But like in a horror way, and not even just a strict not
a joke, but like in this way, you know, the tech being like a modernization.
Yeah, deal with it on an emotional level too. With just like how people kind of like suck out your own energy, like your yeah. I was thinking about how Frankenstein could be done this whole time,
or what is it, like a dependent relationship?
Yes. That's
like,
another
like so, like they need you so much they just suck the life out of you.
Which would play on the opposite attention to Dracula, which is, as the concept is that like one of the reasons Dracula was so successful back then is like Bela Lugosi was seen as a sex symbol, so like the idea of him, you know, biting into a woman's neck was like kind of like an allegory for sex for people. And, you know, in an era where they can't show, you know, anything hardcore in films and whatnot. So it would be interesting to play up on that angle, as you suggested. I know Lee Wannell had more to his description of what he would do, but it's also somebody who's, you know, flying off the seat of his pants in an interview, too. So
yeah. What would Frankenstein be?
I feel like Frankenstein would have an interesting discussion to have about the abortion debate, amongst other things, about like, you know, who has the right to say what life can be created and taken away. But it's also a matter of just like, how do you play that angle? Because Frankenstein is about the complex of a man who feels like he can create life without reckoning upon God. But also it's the idea of like a man is trying to do something that men aren't able to do, which is literally create life or give birth to life.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll go elsewhere because I think people enjoy like the monster itself. Mm-hmm. So I would probably take away the scientist, Dr. Frankenstein, and just do like if you were rebuilt from other parts, like how much of you is really you, which I think they've done before.
Yeah, I mean they've
in science fiction.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's I don't think it's been done strictly with the Frankenstein thing. I know Wannell brought up and whatnot is just like get rid of the neck bolts, which I don't disagree with. I mean, like that look is iconic, obviously, but like it is a guy. If you every look of the modern Prometheus in the novels and whatnot is a person who is stitched together from different body parts. I know you hadn't seen it yet, but Bride of Reanimator is all about that concept of literally stitching together a new life from various different body parts. So now that I think of it, Bride of the Animator might be a better Frankenstein movie than most Frankenstein movies.
Or the Bionic Man.
Bionic
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not unfair. I mean, I'd like to see what they'd be able to do with it in that context from a modern angle. Because it seems like it's something that...
RoboCop's kind of a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Especially the modern one.
Can we have Kurtwood Smith play Dr. Frankenstein in Frankenstein? Bitches leave. I'm about to create life.
You all are dumbasses. Give me my sutures. Yeah, Wolfman, just a guy with rage issues, I guess.
You could have rage issues, yeah, and it's easy to take it out of the Victorian setting, I think. Like,
so the Hulk.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we've got to. Actually, dude, that's how you do a Hulk movie. You make it a Wolfman movie. You don't try to make it this Shakespearean nonsense. You make it a werewolf movie.
They've done that.
Not really, though, have they? Like,
you want the Hulk to be scary?
Kinda, yeah. I kind of do. Like, I mean, not super scary to where I can't root for him, but it's just like I'd love for them to play into that fear. I feel like Louis Leterriers' film doesn't understand how to make him intimidating in the same way that, like, I mean, I don't love Ang Lee's movie, but, you know, Ang Lee deals with some scary imagery regardless of the quality of the CGI. Like, there's zombie poodles in that fucking movie. So, And then Creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, we technically already had a great version of that won Best Picture, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And then
The Mummy.
well, you know what I think? Just get Brendan Fraser back in there and have him be the Mummy itself. He's owed that much.
But what's deep down, like, what's the drama behind The Mummy? It's
Love
just
unfulfilled.
he's just a
and
zombie.
That weird obsession. There could be an obsession within that. Of
Yeah,
just like
they do that with the Brendan Fraser movies, where he's just obsessed with
yeah.
his lost love.
So it's already kind of handled in that certain respect.
So there's got to be something modern and cooler than that for The Mummy.
I don't know what you do with the Mummy. I mean, I know what you could have done, and they did it, and I didn't like it. Or at least not as much as other people did. So,
Yeah, but yeah, Mummy's basically a zombie, so
yeah,
I think that's the most modern. I just don't know what the Mummy's motivation is.
yeah. And then Phantom of the Opera, I think that's a very simple answer. Just make the Phantom scary again, and don't make it a musical. That's my solid answer.
I only saw the 2004 one once, and I remember enjoying it.
It's not terrible. I don't think Gerard Butler's great in that role, but I don't think that movie's like directed badly or anything.
No, I thought his character was like enough of a dick that you're like, he was enough of a monster. Like he wasn't, Jason or Freddy, but
no. But I think but the goal of that version of it is coming off of the musical, which is that he's he's much more sympathetic or. Not lovable. What's the word? Like the romantic interest is stronger than say the Lon Chaney version from the early days, where he's clearly the monster.
I feel like his drive is envy.
Yeah, well, because he's living under the sewers and under the theaters in Paris. So.
Yeah, but I think the modern version of that would just be someone who's like obsessed with like stardom. It's like a fan chaser or
fame
chaser.
Yeah, dude. Oh. So everybody said like Joker was trying to do something like that. And I'm just like, no, we do this with Phantom of the Opera, and get Joaquin Phoenix to put on some fucked up facial makeup.
I don't know if I'd have him with a fucked up face. I would just think like his scars are internal. You know how people have like body dysmorphia.
Yeah. So like, would he still live underneath a theater or something like that?
No. Our version would be he probably just is glued to like the computer. Just like watching and like just reading tabloids and stuff.
Phantom of the HP server.
Phantom of the internet.
And he's not technically a universal monster that thrived a bunch, but the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Think Disney's already kind of solidified the image of that for all time in a comedy musical form.
Yeah,
and there are other monster movies.
It's the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like
yeah. It's got its own class behind it.
Like the modern version would just be like Hunch.
That is the name of the musical in the show The Critic.
Oh. Yeah, but yeah, the modern version he wouldn't be in he would be like in New York, and it would be a buddy romantic comedy or something.
So it's about getting rid of people in Times Square protesting or something instead of like getting out the gypsy population, because that's what that original thing is about, like the oppression of gypsy people in that world.
Yeah, there's like he lives in the projects, and
there you go.
They're trying to like gentrification is coming and
trying to tear down a church.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's an interesting point of view,
So
Brad.
I'm just trying to
I think Jason Blum should call you.
I just I rebooted your entire Universal Monster franchise in this podcast.
You're welcome. I kind of helped.
Copyright
really.
Realness podcast.
Yes, exactly. Give us some money. I'll make a good Frankenstein movie for you. Just you watch. It'll be interesting. I'll still have them sing "Putting on the Ritz," but it won't be as silly as Mel Brooks. It'll be a little more. Maybe I'll make it somehow scarier. I don't know.
As long as you have that song by Taco in it.
That's kind of what I want to use. I've been obsessed with that cover of "Putting on the Ritz" for the past couple of days. I've just been listening to it on a loop. Just when I'm writing some stuff, I'm just like, man, it'd be interesting to see this kind of played out in a horror movie of some kind, like, or some kind of scary setting. Like, it'd be a great little fun addition to a scene. Obviously, I don't have the rights to Taco's song, but anyway, what are we seeing next week, Brad?
I think we're seeing Onward.
Onward.
Or Extraordinary.
Or Extraordinary. Extraordinary. the new film from Cranked Up and with Will Forte.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down to see that. I already have my ticket for Friday for that, but I will see Onward as well if that's what we all choose to see, whatever the case may be.
I imagine Onward's easier for Ryan to see.
Yeah, because
Take Helen.
And also, Extraordinary. I would love to mention that it's playing at Sloan's Lake the entire weekend. It's one of their Fantastic Fest Presents series. They did Come to Daddy and
There's an early presentation tonight.
Yeah, I know, and it was sold out, which sucked.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have gone. But check that out. If we don't do a review on it, like a main review on it, you should check it out at Sloan's Lake. I'd love to do a main review on it because it looks fun. So.
Yeah, it gives me Shaun of the Dead vibes.
Yeah, and I like Will Forte. The one thing I regret not picking up from Second and Charles was MacGruber. He was there for like $7, and I was just
I saw it. I almost grabbed it.
And I'm like, yeah, but I know I can get easy access to that at Amazon. I'm sure it's easy to find. So.
Like I have it on DVD, and is it like that visually impressive that it needs to be on Blu-ray? So I was like, I don't really need to buy this twice. But.
I think anytime you have a comedian or even a kind of a 90s star putting celery stalks up their ass as a distraction, you need that in HD. I think you do.
You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, and then after that, I don't know what's coming out, but we'll find out. We always seem to on this show.
Yeah. So thanks for sticking through this episode. I know it was terrible.
Yeah.
Hopefully Ryan will be back next week.
Yeah, Ryan will be back next week to correct what went wrong this week.
James will be back probably by the summer, I hope.
Yeah, by the summer. Oh, you're optimistic.
Corinne will probably filter in when there's a British movie we're reviewing.
You know, that is, if we do have a dead week, we could check out Emma with her and kind of talk over that. So,
yeah.
You know,
although we're approaching March, it might be time for a film explosion.
Oh my God!
Because we have 4 this year.
4 this year. Do we want to announce this right here on the show that we're going to be doing which years? I mean, it should be obvious for most, but
yeah. I mean, if you're a fan, you've figured it out already. 1980, 1990, 2000, and 2010.
2000 is going to be some fun.
5, because eventually by the end of the year we'll be doing 2020.
Holy shit, it's the most film-splosioniest year of them all. And there may be an
film-splosion all over your face.
Yeah, and there may be a different type of explosion for Shamley, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. But
so you're ripping off this podcast now?
I'm going to call it a Hitch-splosion.
Wow.
Yeah. See, but
does he only have 10 movies?
52. There would be 53, but one of them is lost. Did you steal it? Brad, are you the reason the Mountain Eagle is not out there? Did you destroy the last copy of the Mountain Eagle, Hitchcock's second film?
Of course not.
I don't know.
When would I have that kind of time?
I mean, I don't know. You find a way to somehow go to every trivia night in the world, so.
They do them every day but Friday, so it's not hard to get to one.
So how do I know you didn't take an international flight, find a copy of the Mountain Eagle, piss on it, and set it on fire?
What about I live with my parents? Do you not understand about my checkbook?
Okay, that's fair. All right, I'll have to do a seance with Hitch later tonight and tell him that this lead is going nowhere. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, until next week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Drafthouse in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.